Okay, I know I do this all the time, but I was in Harlem yesterday and I was just shooting like out of my car. You know, I was driving around actually looking for a parking space, but also going to my friend April's because I was helping her with her future YouTube channel. And I just want to show you the Panasonic S5, the original. I used that. I used the kit lens yesterday. I didn't even use my favorite lenses. I just used the kit lens because the kit lens is dope and it just gives you great footage. And so, you know, I'm just saying, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to handle the camera, if you know how to set everything properly, you can get incredible footage with the S5. It looks beautiful. Dynamic range, all of it. Really, really beautiful. The color science, obviously, Lumix. So I just wanted to mention that before I started this video. And hope you enjoy it. All right. Yeah, contribute to other people. Help them do this, you know, and all of that. All right.
Actually, you know, when we watch things on our iPad or even our TV at home, when we're totally in control of that, and we can, oh, let's go and make a cup of tea, let's tweet something while we're watching, we're losing something which was it's different, it has its own pleasures, but it's not the same as cinema.
In your film 1-to-1, John and Yoko, there are a lot of recordings of phone calls between John.
You know, you spend weeks and weeks with a little brush scraping away, looking for things, and then suddenly you find that, you know, a gold diadem, and now a gold diadem. A box full of tapes, which was reel-to-reel tapes, which Yoko, I think it was, actually instigated recording them in exactly the period I was making my...
Hi. Some people called me and they said they wanted to get in touch with you. Of course, I didn't give you a number. Yeah, who am? And they asked
had been kidnapped effectively by her ex-husband, and they knew she was somewhere in the US. And John talks about his own childhood and the pain of his mother's early death.
You are listening to all of it on WNYC.
These are the characters, these are the people who are dominating the airwaves at that time. Obviously there's bits of the Mary Tyler Moore show, or obvious more and more that there was some strange connection, some circularity is going on in the world, that so many things that are relevant now were happening then. So you've got, you know, student sit-ins and riots because of Vietnam War, and you've got the same thing has just been happening with Gaza. You've got a populist politician in the form of Richard Nixon, and nativism. These same things, they are here now. Even to the extent that yesterday, I had my visa, I couldn't get into the country actually. So it's like I keep saying, I don't know whether this film is sort of talking about now, or whether somehow reality is shaping itself to my movie, which I still don't quite know why I was denied, but luckily through this great lawyer and the auspices of a very friendly politician, should we say? Yeah, there's all the same stuff happening again that was happening back then.
Just think about that for a moment.
Well, so one of the things I found on these phone calls is that John and Yoko, well, early on in their time in the US, they were asked by Jerry Rubin, you know, very political individual, the founders of the Yippies, the Chicago 7, all of that. He befriends John, and I think sort of uses him and Yoko a little bit actually, but what then sets the Nixon crazy, because they're like, oh my God, this could be a threat to us. The youth are going to all sort of rally around John Lennon. Would choose to live in such a kind of modest fashion.
We're talking about 1-to-1, John and Yoko, the new documentary. Its director is Kevin McDonald.
Today, I got to help a friend get her YouTube / making films in general kind of studio set up. And it wasn't really a studio. I was helping her set up in her apartment. And she lives in this incredibly beautiful apartment in Harlem, like one of those old classic brownstones, and it's really so well taken care of and restored. And also, you know, when I walk in, I walk into the apartment, into the building, and we hug, and all of a sudden I hear thump, 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 and then I look down, and I see this beautiful big dog. So I'm greeted with a dog, because anybody who knows me knows that I like dogs better than I like people. And then we walked upstairs. She lives up on the top floor, and it's just like magnificent, just like a museum, like a beautiful old Harlem apartment, you know, just incredible. All wood, you know, like an artisan home, like a home that nobody would build today, like without question. Nobody's doing that kind of stuff today. And also amazingly, I like drove on her block and boom, I got a parking space like right across the street from her apartment, which anybody who knows New York City knows that's a miracle. So anyway, I got to set her up today, and I also got to go up to my old neighborhood, went back to the Bronx, and all I wanted today was to eat at this old little Pakistani place that I used to eat at all the time. They had Pakistani and Indian food, northern Indian food, and which is more savory than southern. Southern Indian food is more kind of like lighter and more watery kind of, I guess, would be a good description. And northern Indian is more savory and thicker sauces because, you know, up north it's colder, and in the south it's really warm. So anyway, I got up there, and not only was the restaurant gone, which it was there 3 weeks ago. Like I walked right past it 3 weeks ago. Not only was it gone, the entire block was gone. Like the whole block. I'll include a picture of it here. I mean, just like insane, insane. So, you know, I guess that's New York City. You know, it's changing all the time. It's crazy. But, you know, I really enjoyed helping my friend April today because, you know, she's getting a YouTube channel together, and you will be knowing about it when she starts posting stuff. But she's an incredibly gifted human. She does so many different things. And she's the kind of person that, the reason I really was happy to be working with her, and I feel, this is going to sound weird, but I feel grateful that she's starting a channel, like to be serious about a channel, is because she's the kind of person, in my opinion, who should have a YouTube channel. Like she will be contributing some real stuff. Like just, you know, she does many, many things, but just one of the things that she does, and the way I met her, she's a part of the adoption community. And she's literally like the leader of the transracial adoption space in the world. Like she educates parents who are adopting a child of a different race than them, educating on them on how to, you know, bring this child up basically to keep its culture, to understand who he or she is, to integrate this person into the world, but never losing the foundation of who they were before these parents met them. So it's really important, and I think it's been really, really helpful to so many people. And she's run camps, and she does seminars, and she does, you know, she's a speaker, and she does a lot of really, really incredible stuff. So it made me feel good to be helping somebody like that, you know, to set up her technical stuff, the camera, her sound, her lighting, where she's going to do it, how to, you know, make sure that you have depth behind you and just make it look good, you know. And important to me that she feels comfortable, you know, like she understands how to use the equipment, how to master it. And I know she's the kind of person that once she becomes more comfortable with the technology, she's going to experiment with it, and she's going to make really beautiful content. And more importantly, she's going to be making important, meaningful, contributing content. And so I guess I say all this to say, you know, if you do this, you know, I know it's frustrating that maybe you're not making enough money, or you can't get monetized, or you're not getting enough likes or follows or whatever you want to call them for this space. Don't lose sight of the fact that you are reaching some people. And also don't lose sight of the fact that once you really know what you're doing, you can help other people get in here. And, you know, make people realize, like, it ain't all about the money. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what it's about. Very few people are going to earn a living, but you can use this to lead people to other places. Like, for example, I've gotten a lot of people to go to my Patreon. Please go to my Patreon. But I've gotten a lot of people to go there from YouTube. And so, you know, the more I get income from my art on the outside, you know, from just making films and doing theater and having my Patreon page and getting grants and, you know, artist awards and things like that, the less I feel the pressure to even look at the numbers of subscribers and how many likes I get and how many comments and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm just, you know, like I'm appreciating putting out the content and having the exchange with people, you know, like a genuine exchange, and getting comments like I got a comment yesterday on a video that I put out that I can tell that the guy knew that he was talking about a project that I did where he knew that I was really seriously struggling personally, like in a real life kind of way. And he he mentioned that without directly mentioning it in his comment. And I just thought to myself, and he's on my Patreon page as well. And I realized that, you know, some of the relationships that we have, even though they're not personal relationships, we don't know each other. I've never even seen this person. I don't know what he looks like. We've never shared lunch. We haven't done anything like that, but we've had some really cool exchanges via email. Like he'll backdoor me sometimes and send me an email about something that he thinks might be important for me to know, or something he thinks might help, you know? Or maybe he'll ask me a question, or he'll make a suggestion, or whatever. But everything he's ever sent me has been an incredibly, I'll say it again, genuine and, you know, kind of good energy, kind of good feeling, good vibe kind of exchange, kind of email, you know? And I appreciate that, as opposed to people who are just like trolls and annoying and always want to criticize people. And it's like, you know, don't get involved in all that. You know, think about the fact that you're contributing, you're helping your community, and then try to help people if they want to get this going. You know, because even if you don't have a lot of followers, even if you don't have any money coming in, if you're not monetized, it doesn't mean you're not an expert at doing this. It doesn't mean that you're not really good at what you do. You know, there's a guy who I follow who's a filmmaker. I featured him recently, and he's got like less than 100 followers. This dude is like he could be a professional cinematographer. He's a great artist, you know. I have other people on my channel who are also like, maybe they have, you know, 1,800, 2,500, maybe even 4,000 subscribers, which is still a small amount in the YouTube space. And maybe they're not monetized. Maybe they don't have their 4,000 watch hours. I don't know. But if you see their channel, you're like, damn, this dude is like, you know, Roger Deakins. I mean, he's on that level of cinematography, of being a camera operator. And so just because you don't have the numbers doesn't mean that you're not an expert. There are plenty of professional DPs, you know, cinematographers, camera operators on this space who just come here every once in a while, who have 45 followers or whatever, but they leave a video every once in a while and you're like, oh, damn. Yeah, thank you for reminding me what real professional filmmaking looks like. So I'm just saying, don't focus on the numbers. Focus on what you're getting out of it spiritually. You know, and I know that sounds weird, and, you know, like, I know people don't like, you know, YouTube gurus and, you know, faith people and people who are just, you know, trying to be like life coaches or something like that. But I'm serious, you know, like, think about what you get, how it makes you feel. You know, you're having fun, first of all. You know, if it's a pain in the ass, don't do it. Don't do it. But if you enjoy it, if you enjoy setting up the camera, if you enjoy all this kind of stuff, do it. And try to make something positive. And even if you have 30 people that come to you every single video, that's pretty cool. That's a lot. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed going to my old neighborhood. I enjoyed driving around Harlem. I enjoyed getting into the city today. And I'm very happy to be home in Poughkeepsie now. So, was I right?